No, you just focus on
what I'm doing. Yeah.
Output.
I feel like everything else is a distraction. Like, as long as you're making enough money. Brian Count said something to me once, and I never forgot it. He said, and we were kids. We were in our 20s. He said, the only amount of money you need is so that you can go to a restaurant and not care what things cost. Everything else is bullshit. If you got enough money, we can go to a restaurant, you don't worry. Just order a bottle of wine, order meat, order whatever you want to eat. You don't have to think about the price. He goes, that's real freedom. Because everything else, like all that other shit, you forget. That's all just, it becomes complicated. You don't need that. Real freedom is the freedom to not worry about your bills. That's the real, I experienced that leap, that jump when I got a development deal. So I was like, I guess I was 25, 26 maybe, 25. And I got this development deal from Disney. And it was like $150,000, and I couldn't believe it. I had $150,000. This is nuts. And I felt like a physical weight lift over my shoulders. Because back then I was a road comic. You do a gig on Thursday, it's $200. You do a gig here, it's $150. You're scraping together enough money so that you could pay your bills and eat. And you were always worried about gigs, always trying to fill my book, always trying to call booking agents, drive to Connecticut, drive to Jersey. Where do I got to go to make some money? And it was all just trying to stay alive and trying to make it, right? Trying to become didn't really think I was a legit professional comedian. It could all go away. And so I got that development deal, and it was the nuttiest feeling in the world. It was like I felt lighter. Like I felt lighter. And then I was like, oh, that's the key. Like, get the monkey off your back. Get the bill monkey off your back. And that's the real freedom. The real freedom is not being rich. You don't feel any different being really rich other than the stuff that you can do. But the way you feel in the day is the same way you feel if your bills are paid. That's what you want. All that other shit is like, the other thing I noticed when I moved to California, it was the first time I had a nice apartment. And I'll never forget this either. I was sitting in my apartment, and it was a beautiful place in North Hollywood. I had a loft, I had a pool table in my apartment. I was like, this is amazing. How is this real? How is this mine? After a while, it just became my house. And then I realized, like, oh, this is the same feeling I have when I'm home that I had in my shitty apartment in New York. It's the same feeling. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is home. It's the same feeling. It's not better. It's not worth the amount of money that it costs if you're like renting a house that's way over your budget and you're doing Uber just to try to pay your bills. It's not worth that. It's what's worth it is if it's comfortable. If you have a TV and you have a nice bed and you can cook your meals, you're good. That's what you need. That's all you need. Everything else is just like the amount of effort that you have to put in to make the amount of money to get all these other things leaves you in this constant state of anxiety. And I think people just get lost in this idea of constantly making more and getting more and chasing more. And I just concentrate on what I do.